More than 80 Polish towns have declared themselves LGBTQ-free zones. The European Parliament just voted to condemn the practice and demand the Polish government revoke the symbolic declarations.
Here's a summary of the article.
The European Parliament has finally taken a stand against rising state-backed homophobia in Poland, where more than 80 towns have declared themselves LGBTQ-free zones amid a heated culture war over gay rights. MEPs voted by 463 votes to 107 Wednesday in favor of a resolution condemning discrimination against LGBTQ people in Poland, and explicitly calling on the Polish government to revoke discriminatory measures such as the LGBTQ-free zones, established by dozens of conservative local authorities that have symbolically declared themselves free from LGBTQ ideology. Law and Justice Chairman Jarosz Kaczyński, Poland's de facto leader, warned in April of an imported LGBTQ movement that threatens our identity, our nation and therefore the Polish state. In October's elections, his party was returned to power comfortably with 44% of the vote. Red, Poland's populist government has declared war on the LGBTQ community. Polish LGBTQ groups hailed the European resolution, describing it as important support in their fight to revoke the LGBTQ-free zones. In comments to Polish news site Onet, Witold Waszczykowski, an MEP who was Poland's foreign minister from 2015 to 2018, attempted to differentiate between the LGBTQ community, a minority he claimed had never been excluded in Poland, and an LGBTQ ideology that was demanding special treatment and causing upheaval. Same-sex marriage and civil unions are banned in Poland, and activists say that while the status of the country's LGBTQ community has steadily improved in the past decade, especially in more cosmopolitan areas, homophobic and transphobic attitudes remain prevalent.
This post received a score of 57,119, with an upvote ratio of 87%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Unrelated, but Witold Waszczykowski is the most Polish name I've ever seen.
Meet Grzegorz Brzeziszkiewicz.
I feel like they could have left out couple C's, a few Z's in there.
Official Scrabble rules in Poland allow for the use of names. There is no other explanation. Polish Scrabble counts C as only 1 point.
Actually, they have a special rule where the first Z in a word is 0 points, the next is 1 point, then 2 points, and so on. That's why they put so many ZS in there.
Just plausible enough to make me read it twice. Well done.
MEPs voted by 463 votes to 107 Wednesday in favor of a resolution condemning discrimination against LGBTQ people in Poland, and explicitly calling on the Polish government to revoke discriminatory measures such as the LGBTQ-free zones, established by dozens of conservative local authorities that have symbolically declared themselves free from LGBTQ ideology. The European Parliament urges Polish authorities to condemn these acts and to revoke all resolutions attacking LGBTI rights, the European Parliament said in a statement. 107 MEPs voted against resolution. This is a series.
51 Polish MEPs where at least a majority were against the motion, and right-wingers make about this figure. Also about 180 didn't vote.
In those 105 who did abstain for voting, you would find enough parties who are anti-LGBT, but instead of just saying it they acting like but we don't have an issue with gays, but the whole LGBT community is a dirty cultural Marxist conspiracy. Looking to the list and the parties who are in the European Parliament representing my country, I'm glad that most parties, from the left wing until the moderate Christian parties, voted in favor of banning this discriminating shit in Poland. 1 MEP from a fundamentalist Christian party voted against, and 3 MEP from basically a Nazi-type party did abstain, likely because the EU shouldn't take care of it. It's an attack of the sovereignty.
Greater than but the whole LGBT+ community is a dirty cultural Marxist conspiracy. I wonder how they would respond to the information that Castro mass incarcerated homosexuals because he thought homosexuality was inherently a bourgeois pastime.
You're referring to this. Castro closed them down 3 years after their creation, shortly after personally visiting them. Thereafter he referred to them as a mistake and expressed shame. The attitudes of the Cuban people towards LGBT people in the 1960s were not a product of Marxist ideology, but a product of a pre-existing Cuban machismo culture.
In the early 1990s, Castro made pro-LGBT statements that would have gotten him voted out of any U.S. election. Cuba allowed LGBT citizens to openly serve in the military 18 years before the U.S. 1993 versus 2011.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.